Hello and welcome to the lab. And today we are working with this image. This was an image that was posted on the subreddit of photo critique, and they wanted suggestions on how to improve the cropping of this image. So this is an image of a deer in an arboretum. And first, let's look at the image and see what are all the elements and the ingredients that we are working with. So we have first the deer, and we have this tree trunk towards the right. Then I would say that this grass is taking up almost half of the image. And then we have this, some sort of a tree canopy in the front. So those are a few things that are present in this image. And then looking at this image on a second glance, I would say that we have this stump of grass over here. And then we have these overexposed, probably like white parts on the background. Then we have this bright spot of grass with this uh, like overexposed part on the deer. So those are a few things that I kind of stand out to me. And now if you are looking at, because she wanted specific instructions on how we can improve the cropping of this image, what I would suggest is first, we have already identified what are the important elements in this image already. So now coming over here, these are a few crops that I had suggested. So for the first crop, as mentioned earlier, we can get rid of these white spots over here. And why not if we punch in closer to the image so that we have only the deer in the highlight. So no other distracting white bright spots. And we just have this deer with this canopy acting like a clean edge for the frame. And that being said, if let's say the photographer doesn't want to punch in that close to the image and wants to retain some of the context of the image, then for the second crop, it's still a bit more of a squarish orientation, and we have included a bit more of the shaded areas of the grass in the foreground. And the main reason of me, like for me to cut out this stump, like the stump of grass over here, is that because it's not adding any like further information to this image, and it feels like kind of weird for at least me. If there was a separate creative decision while the image was taken, maybe that's a different thing. But at least for me, I would suggest if we are looking at the foreground, why not have a gradual, uh, you know, lead into the image so that we can have this entire thing as black, and then we have these darker greens. And as we move closer to the subject, we go slightly, uh, like we increase the value of the uh, greens. So keeping that in mind, I would suggest cropping this and then going for a cleaner crop for the top edge so that this piece of white you know, background kind of is of the same width of this tree towards the right, so that it balances each other out. And another reason is that what if we just crop out these areas over here, because we already know that the overall surrounding is again consists of trees, and then this is also a tree. At least in my opinion, it doesn't add much more information for the viewer to make a better judgment, a better understanding of this image. And Yeah, that was the second crop. Now coming to the third crop, because all the three crops are of orientation, like portrait orientation, why not go for landscape orientation and include much more breathing space on the horizontal axis for this image? Again, the same logic continues of cropping this on the lower half. And again, why not crop it up so that we directly include the foreground element at the start of the bottom edge. So we have this, and then we have the middle elements, which is the tree and the deer. And then again, we include these elements of the trees towards the left and this white background in the middle. And we need to be mindful of the overall width that is there towards the left and also towards the right, including this dark area. So this and probably this needs to be of same width so that it helps balance out the image. And then again, towards the top half, same like we continue this drop of the canopy, and we make the conscious decision of keeping the deer at one of the intersection points of the grids. So those would be a few suggestions that I had for editing this image. In general, uh, besides there are a few more comments regarding the tonal inconsistencies in this image because few of the parts are a bit burnt. But as the photographer had just asked for suggestions on the crop, so those would be a few like critiques that I had. So yeah, hope you like this and catch you again next time.